And last week we went over Figure AI developing a robot and OpenAI being somewhat of a investor in it, a small investor, but there are so many more bigger investors that are going on with this actual specific company. The only thing is, gotta pay attention to this. Only thing is, now they're saying OpenAI is helping them a lot more than just that little investment. What could that more be? I guess we're gonna learn from BBC. We don't really interact much with BBC. I haven't pulled them up, but definitely want to get viewpoints from different places and see what the takes are, and might be able to learn some new from it. So before we dive in, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and let's see what this is about.
Watching the context, it's time for our newly minted segment, AI Decoded.
The news has specific segments for AI now. That is insane.
Welcome to AI Decoded. It's the time of the week when we dig deep into some of the most eye-catching stories in the world of artificial intelligence. We begin this week with this story from Tech Radar, stunning achievement in humanoid robotic development. OpenAI and the startup robotics firm Figure AI have released a video this week demonstrating the real sci-fi capabilities of a new visual language model, and we'll be showing you a clip of that in just a minute's time. The Medical Express details how AI is being used now to detect heart defects in newborns. The model they have developed gives the correct diagnosis in 80 to 90% of cases. Fortune says artificial intelligence is supercharging the threat of election disinformation worldwide, making it easy for anyone, even with a smartphone, to create artificial intelligence. Let's take a look.
Awkward pause.
I see a red apple on a plate in the center of the table, a drying rack with cups and a plate, and you standing nearby with your hand on the table.
Great. Can I have something to eat?
Sure thing.
Great. Can you explain why you did what you just did while you pick up this trash?
On it. So I gave you the apple because it's the only edible item I could provide you with from the table.
Great. So, based on the scene right now, where do you think the dishes in front of you go next?
The dishes on the table, like that plate and cup, are likely to go into the drying rack next.
Great. Can you put them there?
Of course.
Okay. Almost speechless because of how crazy this is. We are a lot further than I thought we would be at this time overall for AI and even the robots and stuff. I just saw the news thing talking about all of their investments into this company, Figure, that's developing these humanoid robots. And all these other companies are trying to develop some robots. I know Musk is trying to, I believe, with Teslas, and that seems almost too real. It's still taking some time to process the tasks, mind you. You can ask, like, when he was telling him, where do you think this stuff's going to go? It's actually putting real thought into the scenarios, and it's really thinking about what to do with this stuff. And it's enlightening, it's dope, but it's also very scary because it has to be managed the right way. And I feel like you have to ask it the right questions too. This is software that can easily be abused. We see it in movies all the time on how this can become a downfall. But there just has to be so much extra security around the developments for all of this kind of technology and what's going on further. I do want to see what he has to say about that, but it it was it was it was cool to see, but in a chilling way. I don't know how to explain it the best way. That's the best way I feel like I can explain it at this moment in time.
It's remarkable, isn't it? I mean, everything that I've been shown so far in the world of AI, the avatars that I've seen, which are on screen, they're instructed by text. The difference with this is that it's seeing, it's tasting, it's feeling its environment, and that is.
It ain't taste. It did not taste. If robots can start to taste stuff, I'd definitely be suspect. Like, why are you lying to me? Imagine saying, does this cookie taste good? And they say yes. How do you know that? It doesn't have, the only sense that it has is sight. What I seen from that video and what I just know. So, gotta be careful there. That wording is definitely off. But it does know what is edible. And if it knows what's edible, it also means what is not edible. And as I said, things can be abused and go the wrong way, but it's just something that we have to be very careful with and very secure with.
It's what blows my mind.
Yeah. I thought it was fascinating that the voice even has, because it's obviously a fake voice, probably taken from real voice samples and maybe even melded together, but it had vocal fry. So I often have vocal fry because I've got asthma and I have to cough a lot, and so you'll hear it in my voice. It's not a pure tone. It sounds a little bit hoarse. They've even put vocal fry in to make it sound like a real human. That's crazy.
I was saying last week to Priya that one of the things somebody has said to me who's interacted with one of these models is that they feel empathy. And that's why they feel empathy, because actually the voice is colloquial.
Right.
And as you say, it feels real. There's a slight pause, there's a drag, isn't there, as it processes. But as that gets quicker, it's going to be the sort of thing that some people would prefer to hang out with.
Yeah, and there's an ethical question in the way that we've even designed this robot. Like, it's a
Would you guys hang out with an AI robot? Yes or no? Let me know in the comments. I'll know if you watched this video, if you told me in the comments that you would hang out with a robot, an AI robot, and it would be your best friend. Let me know if you would do it. Let me know. Because this is getting way too real now.
choice to try to make it look and sound and feel human. That doesn't have to be that way. We could actually design robots to be really explicitly not human, other. So why they've taken someone's voice, and even I was listening, the accent and the grammar is very specific to the United States West Coast. So he says, "Can I have something to eat?" And then somebody goes, "On it." Right? This is a very American way of speaking that wouldn't necessarily translate globally. So I'm sure what you could do is say, I want it to speak with a French accent, or I want it to speak in Mandarin, and do exactly that thing to make you feel a connection to it. All of that is actually really manipulative as well.
This is called artificial general intelligence. Just to explain the technicals to people, normally we're talking text to speech.
Yeah.
This is speech to speech.
Yeah.
So it, as well as seeing its environment, it is able to process, a bit like Alexa in our kitchens at the moment. It's able to process what you're saying to it.
Yes. I mean, I was noticing, even as we were just watching that again, these are quite long pauses between the human interrogator and the robot. And also the human is giving really clear, short, specific instructions. So is that going to work very well in a real world context where if people are asking a robot to do something and it doesn't do it, just like human beings sometimes ask questions in a way that's not very clear and we have to repeat ourselves, we get angry at each other, frustrated, kick the robot. How's that going to work? So this is great, and the potential for it is clearly there. You can imagine what this would mean if we got these robots truly up and running with very minimal lag time. Could they be rolled out to start replacing humans in all sorts of jobs?
Yeah. But of course, to just take that on a peg, obviously the database is growing. It's also, it will write and rewrite its own code. So as it makes mistakes, it will learn and it will develop, and its language patterns will grow and evolve.
Yeah, that's the thing, is it almost reminds me in a weird way of how children learn language and they're studying from everybody around it. It's learning from us, as ever, as with all machines.
Yeah. 30 years from now, when I'm a pensioner, it's going to be putting me to bed, isn't it? I just know it. I can already see it. Maybe that's the solution to our, social care problems. I don't know. Talking.
Yeah. So that is insane. This is like, I remember growing up and watching iRobot when I was younger, and just like, yeah, this will happen sometime in the future and things. But now it's like we're living in it. It's funny, those movies always be like stuff's gonna happen sooner than what it really did, but now we're actually at the cusp of being in that kind of light and having that kind of life in general. Like, we are literally right there. Literally right there. And they're even talking about it can even take jobs eventually in the future. Yeah. You tell that thing what to do, your job's gone. All it needs are people there to tell it what to do. And it would work 8 hours with no problems, no question to ask. Like, even seeing the watching iRobot, I remember the scenes. I would pull up the scenes if they wasn't copyrighted. Uh, they have scenes where like the robots are cooking in the kitchen and things like that, and handling all different types of tasks. It's just, I'm not getting one. As much as I love tech, I'm not getting one unless I have full control over its code and all of that stuff, its database, the AI. If I don't have control over it, I don't think I could do it. I do not think I could do it for sure. No. But it is definitely something that's worrisome that's going to happen in a very, very short time, and it's going to come out very quickly. And that's wild. And it's definitely going to be able to replace a lot of people, especially in the working area.